The Monday dawns. It's a heated day. I always believed that life was full of surprises, both good and bad. But nothing could have prepared me for the surprise that lay waiting for me on that fateful day. The day my world shattered, and everything I believed in came crashing down around me. For years, Linda and I had been a picture-perfect couple. High school sweethearts, we had grown up together, learning about love and life side by side. Our marriage was filled with laughter and joy, and I truly believed that I had found my soulmate. But as the years went by, the monotony of life started to take its toll. We grew distant, our conversations turning into mere pleasantries, our passion fading like the colors of a once vibrant painting. I knew we needed something to bring us back together, a way to rekindle the love that had once burned so brightly between us. So, I devised a plan. I decided to surprise Linda with a romantic getaway for our anniversary, a trip to Paris, the city of love. I spent weeks planning every detail, from the quaint hotel we would stay in to the charming cafes we would visit. As the day approached, I could barely contain my excitement. I was convinced that this trip would be the turning point in our marriage, the catalyst that would bring us closer together once more. But I couldn't have been more wrong. It was a week before our anniversary, and I returned home earlier than usual, excited to finalize the preparations for our trip. As I entered our home, I noticed a pair of shoes that I didn't recognize in the hallway. My heart skipped a beat, a sense of unease washing over me. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself that there must be a reasonable explanation. But as I made my way through the house, I could hear the faint sounds of laughter coming from our bedroom. I hesitated at the door, my heart pounding in my chest, and then, with a deep breath, I pushed it open. There, in the bed that had once been a sanctuary for our love, I found Linda entwined with another man. The shock and hurt that tore through me are indescribable. As they scrambled to cover themselves, I could hardly muster the strength to speak. I turned and walked away, the image of their betrayal forever burned into my memory. In the days that followed, I moved out of our home and into a small apartment. Consumed by a whirlwind of emotions, I felt as though I was living in a haze. I struggled to understand how Linda could have betrayed me, how the love we had shared could have been reduced to ashes. But as the weeks turned into months, I realized that I couldn't let Linda's actions dictate the course of my life. I had to find a way to heal and move forward. I turned to my passions and hobbies, immersing myself in the world of photography. Capturing the beauty of life through my lens brought me solace and a sense of peace. Determined to expose the truth about Linda's affair, I decided to share my story. I began writing a blog, detailing my experiences and the emotional turmoil that had become a constant companion. The response was overwhelming. People from all walks of life reached out to me, sharing their own stories of heartbreak and betrayal, offering words of support and encouragement. Through this newfound community, I met Sophia. She, too, had been cheated on by her spouse and had found solace in writing. We exchanged messages, sharing our experiences and offering support to one another. As our friendship grew, I found myself drawn to her warmth and resilience, her ability to find beauty in the darkest of moments. One day, Sophia suggested that we meet in person. She was organizing a support group for individuals who had experienced infidelity in their relationships, and she thought it would be a great opportunity for us to connect with others who had gone through similar experiences. I hesitated at first, unsure if I was ready to face my pain in such a public manner. But with Sophia's gentle encouragement, I agreed to attend. The support group was held at a local community center, the room filled with people who had faced the same heartbreak and betrayal as I had. As I sat there, listening to their stories, I realized that I was not alone in my pain. Each person in that room had faced their own demons and had come out stronger on the other side. As the meeting progressed, I finally had the chance to meet Sophia in person. Her smile was warm and genuine, her eyes filled with empathy and understanding. As we spoke, I found myself opening up to her in a way that I had never done with anyone else. She had a way of making me feel safe and understood, and I could see that she had the same effect on everyone in the room. Over the next few months, Sophia and I grew closer. We spent hours talking about our pasts, our dreams, and our hopes for the future. Slowly but surely, I began to heal. My heart, once heavy with pain and betrayal, began to lighten as I learned to trust again. It was during this time that I decided to file for divorce. I knew that I could never go back to the life I had shared with Linda, and it was time for me to close that chapter and start anew. With Sophia's support, I navigated the legal process, determined to build a better life for myself. As the months turned into years, my friendship with Sophia blossomed into something more profound. We fell in love, and I found myself experiencing a happiness I had never thought possible. Together, we built a life filled with love, laughter, and adventure, always seeking out new experiences and cherishing the moments we shared. Sophia taught me that life is a journey filled with twists and turns, and that it is up to us to choose how we face the challenges that come our way. She showed me that sometimes, when one door closes, another opens, leading us to a brighter and more fulfilling path. Sophia and I moved in together, creating a home that was a testament to our love and resilience. Our walls were adorned with photographs we had taken together, each one capturing a moment of happiness and growth in our lives. Our relationship was built on a foundation of trust, understanding, and a shared desire to live our lives to the fullest. As time went by, I decided to turn my photography hobby into a career. Sophia encouraged me to pursue my passion, and with her unwavering support, I opened my own photography studio. I found immense satisfaction in capturing the beauty of life through my camera, and my work began to gain recognition. Meanwhile, Sophia continued to write and use her experiences to help others. She published a book about healing from betrayal and infidelity, and it quickly became a bestseller. Her words touched the hearts of countless readers, providing them with hope and guidance in their darkest moments. Our lives became intertwined with the stories of those we helped and inspired. Our love and commitment to one another grew stronger with each passing day, and we knew that we had found something truly special in each other. Eventually, we decided to get married, surrounded by our friends, family, and the community we had built together. Our wedding was a celebration of love, not just between us, but for everyone who had faced heartbreak and emerged stronger on the other side. As I stood beside Sophia, exchanging our vows and promising to love and support one another for the rest of our lives, I couldn't help but think about the journey that had brought us to this moment. The pain and betrayal I had experienced with Linda had once seemed insurmountable, but it had ultimately led me to a love that was deeper and more profound than I could have ever imagined. Looking back, I realized that every experience, both good and bad, has shaped the person I am today. I have learned that sometimes, when one door closes, another opens, leading us to a brighter and more fulfilling path. And while the scars of my past will never fully fade, they serve as a reminder of the incredible journey that has brought me to where I am today, a journey that has led me to love, happiness, and a life I wouldn't trade for anything. As Sophia and I settled into married life, we continued to support and inspire each other in our personal and professional endeavors. Our love and understanding of one another grew deeper with each passing day, and we were constantly reminded of how fortunate we were to have found each other. One day, during a quiet evening at home, Sophia shared an idea with me that would change the course of our lives. She suggested that we combine our passions and skills to create a joint venture, a workshop series designed to help individuals heal from the emotional pain of betrayal and infidelity. We would use photography and writing as therapeutic tools, guiding participants through the process of self-discovery and healing. Excited by the prospect of making a difference in the lives of others, we eagerly began planning our workshop series. We developed a curriculum that incorporated elements of both our expertise, focusing on helping participants find their voice, capture their emotions through photography, and ultimately, find a sense of peace and closure. The workshops quickly gained popularity, and soon we found ourselves traveling across the country, sharing our experiences and knowledge with others who had faced similar heartbreak. It was incredibly rewarding to see the impact our workshops had on the lives of our participants, many of whom experienced profound breakthroughs and newfound hope during the sessions. As we continued to travel and teach, we realized that our journey of healing and growth was far from over. Each workshop provided us with new insights and perspectives, allowing us to learn not only from our own experiences but from the stories of those we were helping. Our workshop series continued to flourish, and the stories of transformation and healing we witnessed were both humbling and inspiring. As we met more people who had experienced betrayal and heartbreak, we realized that there was still so much to learn and share. We decided to take our workshops to a global level, reaching out to individuals from all walks of life and cultures, hoping to make a difference on a larger scale. As we traveled the world, we discovered that the pain of infidelity and betrayal transcended cultural and geographical boundaries. We met people from all corners of the globe who had faced similar experiences and were searching for a way to heal and move forward. The more we traveled and learned, the more we grew as individuals and as a couple. We faced challenges and obstacles along the way, but each one only served to strengthen our bond and deepen our love for one another. Our shared passion for helping others and making a difference in the world became the driving force behind our relationship, and we knew that we were on the right path. Throughout our journey, we continued to document our experiences through photography and writing, capturing the beauty and resilience of the human spirit. We created a book that combined our photographs and stories, showcasing the incredible journey of healing that we had been privileged to witness and be a part of. Our book became a beacon of hope for those who had experienced betrayal, and we were humbled by the impact it had on so many lives. As the years passed, our love and commitment to one another never wavered. We continued to grow and evolve, both as individuals and as a couple, always seeking new ways to share our knowledge and experiences with others. We knew that we had been given a unique opportunity to help others find healing and happiness, and we were determined to make the most of it. Our lives became a testament to the transformative power of love, forgiveness, and self-discovery. The heartbreak we had once endured had ultimately led us to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and deep connection with one another. As our workshop series continued to grow and expand, we decided to establish a non-profit organization dedicated to providing resources and support for individuals who had experienced infidelity and betrayal. Through our organization, we were able to extend our reach and provide assistance to even more people in need. We partnered with other experts in the fields of therapy, relationship coaching, and personal growth, creating a network of support for those who were struggling to heal and rebuild their lives after experiencing the pain of infidelity. Our nonprofit became a beacon of hope and healing, and we were constantly inspired by the strength and resilience of the individuals we had the privilege to work with. During this time, we also focused on our own personal growth, attending workshops and conferences to further our knowledge and understanding of the healing process. We continue to nurture our relationship, ensuring that our own love and connection remain strong and vibrant. In the years that followed, we witnessed countless stories of transformation and healing among the people we worked with. The workshops and resources we provided had a profound impact on the lives of many, and we knew that we were making a difference in the world. Looking back on our journey, I am filled with a sense of awe and gratitude. The pain and betrayal I had once experienced had led me to a life I could have never imagined, one filled with love, purpose, and the opportunity to make a lasting impact on the lives of others. Through it all, Sophia and I remained a testament to the fact that, sometimes, when one door closes, another opens, leading us to a brighter and more fulfilling path. Our love and commitment to one another stood as a beacon of hope for those who had faced heartbreak, a reminder that healing and happiness were always possible. My comment has not had a full story in a while. OP found a new love with a much better life. Story 2. October 10, 2015. The day my life changed forever. I discovered my wife, Emily, had cheated on me. It was a dark and stormy night when I found the incriminating messages on her phone. My heart shattered into a million pieces, and my world turned upside down. We had been together for over a decade, and I couldn't believe that she could betray me like this. After many tearful conversations and a seemingly endless number of sleepless nights, we decided to try and work through our issues. We attended couples therapy, and slowly, we began to rebuild our relationship. The process was long and painful, but I wanted to believe in the power of love and forgiveness. 3 years passed, and our marriage seemed to be on the mend. The memories of Emily's infidelity still haunted me, but our love had grown stronger, and we were committed to making things work. Little did I know, the ghosts of the past were about to come back to life. March 16, 2018. The day I found myself standing on the edge of the abyss once more. I had been feeling restless and unfulfilled in my job as a marketing executive. The long hours and constant pressure had taken a toll on my mental and emotional well-being. In my search for an escape, I found myself drawn to a new coworker, Sarah. She was young, attractive, and full of life, a stark contrast to the dreary world of corporate life I found myself trapped in. As Sarah and I began to spend more time together, I found myself captivated by her. Our conversations were exhilarating, and her presence filled me with a sense of excitement and possibility that I hadn't felt in years. Despite my lingering feelings of guilt and the knowledge that I was playing with fire, I couldn't resist the magnetic pull I felt towards her. On May 25, 2018, Sarah and I crossed a line that we could never undo. We met at a hotel for what was supposed to be a working lunch, but our pent-up emotion and desire quickly took over. We gave in to temptation, and I cheated on my wife, Emily. In the weeks that followed, I was consumed with guilt and shame. The memories of Emily's betrayal 3 years prior came flooding back, and I knew that I had become the very person I had once despised. I couldn't bring myself to tell Emily the truth, and so I lived with the weight of my secret, a heavy burden that threatened to crush me. By the end of the summer, I knew I couldn't continue living a lie. The guilt was eating me alive, and I knew that I had to come clean to Emily about my affair. On August 31, 2018, I sat Emily down and confessed everything. Emily's reaction was a mix of shock, disbelief, and heartbreak. The tears flowed freely as she tried to process the revelation of my infidelity. It was as if the wounds from her own betrayal had been ripped open once more, and the pain was unbearable for both of us. In the days and weeks that followed, our home became a battleground. We fought and argued, our words laced with bitterness and resentment. There were moments when it seemed like our marriage was beyond repair, but we eventually decided that we owed it to ourselves and each other to give our relationship one more chance. We agreed to go back to couples therapy and to do everything in our power to save our marriage. The road to recovery was long and filled with obstacles. Both Emily and I had to face the demons of our past and learn to forgive ourselves and each other. We had to rediscover our love and trust, rebuilding our connection from the ground up. It was a grueling process, but we were committed to our shared goal of healing our relationship. As the months turned into years, Emily and I found a new sense of strength and unity. Our love for each other had been tested and scarred, but it had also grown deeper and more resilient. We realized that, despite the mistakes we had made, we were still the most important people in each other's lives, and we were determined to make our marriage work. By 2020, Emily and I seemed to be on the right path. We had worked tirelessly to rebuild our relationship and regain the trust we had lost. Our love had grown stronger, and we were more committed to each other than ever before. But fate had other plans. In the summer of 2020, I found myself working on a major project with a new colleague, Isabella. She was intelligent, witty, and undeniably attractive. Despite my previous experience with Sarah and the pain it had caused, I couldn't help but be drawn to her. Over time, our professional relationship turned into something more. The stolen glances and lingering touches eventually led to secret meetings outside the office. On November 17, 2020, I once again found myself in the throes of an affair, betraying Emily for the second time. I knew I was playing with fire, but the thrill and excitement of the forbidden relationship were intoxicating. As the months went by, I grew increasingly careless, and my secret affair with Isabella became harder to conceal. On April 5, 2021, Emily discovered the truth. She had found incriminating text messages on my phone, and my world came crashing down once more. The pain in her eyes was unbearable, and I knew that I had destroyed any chance of salvaging our marriage. The divorce proceedings were long and bitter, a stark contrast to the love and affection we had once shared. The process was emotionally and financially draining, and by the time it was finalized in December 2021, we were both exhausted and defeated. In the wake of the divorce, I felt lost and adrift. The guilt and regret of my actions weighed heavily on me, and I found myself struggling to move forward. But life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. I threw myself into my work, trying to find a sense of purpose and direction amidst the chaos of my personal life. One day, during a business trip to Vancouver in March 2022, I met someone who would change my life forever. Her name was Olivia, and she was a talented artist I met at a local art gallery. We struck up a conversation and immediately connected on a deep, emotional level. She was kind, compassionate, and had a unique perspective on life that I found incredibly refreshing. Over the next few months, Olivia and I grew closer, and our friendship blossomed into a beautiful romance. She taught me the true meaning of love and trust, showing me that it was possible to find happiness and fulfillment even after the darkest of times. With Olivia by my side, I was finally able to let go of the past and embrace a new beginning. We traveled the world together, exploring new cultures and creating unforgettable memories. Our love became a source of strength and inspiration, giving us the courage to face life's challenges head-on. As I reflect on my journey, I am grateful for the lessons I've learned and the love I've discovered. While my past mistakes will always be a part of my story, they have also shaped me into the person I am today. Through love, forgiveness, and growth, I have found a sense of peace and happiness that I never thought possible. And as I stand hand in hand with Olivia, I am reminded that sometimes, the most profound lessons in life come from our darkest moments. The journey may be long and painful, but there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. My comment: would you make the same choices if you were OP? Or you would have chosen a different path? Story 3. My story: I was married for 17 years. Had our ups and downs, but I loved my husband dearly. On November 1st, he told me he didn't love me anymore. He liked me, he cared about me, but he didn't love me. I was devastated. I still love him. I still feel he is the love of my life. Everyone said we had a special connection. I found out that he read my journal. I said some very mean, hurtful things about him. I wrote in the journal just when I was really upset and didn't mean what I said. He doesn't understand that. He said he had fallen out of love with me 2 years before he told me. Now I tell him that I'm not sure if I can trust him because he lied to me for those 2 years. I came into the marriage with assets. He had none. We work together and own a number of assets together. I am trying to decide if I should give him a share of the assets that I brought into the marriage or if we should just split what we earn together. He worked very hard and continues to do so. That's why I'm thinking about giving him extra. At the same time, he chose to end the relationship. He says he'll always be my friend, but I am trying to distance myself. He is hurt by this. I have to take care of myself, right? I have to stop taking care of him and sacrificing myself for him, at my expense, right? He is upset because I am changing my mind about some of the things in the separation agreement. But that's being a hypocrite, right? He changed his mind about the whole marriage. I'm in Canada and have a prenup so the before marriage assets will legally stay with me. He hasn't filed for divorce, and I'm doing counseling, but he won't go. He has no faith in counseling at all. For me, it's been a sanity saver. You are right about staying out of his way. I am just realizing this now. I am so much happier when I don't have to see him. But the stupid thing is I don't want to hurt him by saying I don't want to see him. He is so focused on being my friend and helping me out with things. And I still have that hope that all of a sudden, he will fall in love with me again. It's so hard doing the right thing. My heart just wants him back. About 2 years ago, my husband read my private journals. I said a bunch of mean things about him which I didn't mean. It was just venting. His feelings started changing towards me. Then a year ago he told me he doesn't love me. We stayed together for months, then I moved out in May. Before that, we were incredibly close. Everyone noticed and commented on what a strong connection we had. We are currently working on our separation agreement and he wants to get divorced next May. We work together and own a business together. He wants to continue doing this and I agree with him, for the benefit of our children. I told him that if he meets someone and the only thing holding back the relationship is if she is uncomfortable about us working together, then we can revisit the issue. He said he will never give up the business. If the new woman can't handle our relationship, then he will dump her. He is dating, just for one thing. He's been very honest with me about this. When he talks about our relationship, he gets very upset. He says that he looks at our old pictures and only remembers bad stuff. He keeps referring to 3 years in the future when our youngest graduates. That was one of my themes in my journal, that when our youngest graduates, I could be free to do what I want. I almost feel like he is just waiting to see what I'll do in 3 years. I have told him that I love him, that I will always love him. I am not interested in having another relationship with a man. I said I would wait for him for the rest of my life. I am quite comfortable with that, and I am learning and growing and experiencing things I never thought I would. He calls me every day. He starts off talking about work but ends up just chatting. I am so confused by his behavior. Am I seeing something that isn't there? I wonder why he calls me. If he doesn't love me, why is he so upset when he talks about our past? After a year of trying to be charming and lovely in the hopes that my STBX would suddenly fall in love with me again, I have decided to go to NC. I started yesterday. I already feel good. The only contact I will have to have with him is for work, but I am keeping it strictly business. He called me today to talk about his meeting with his lawyer. They are not telling them what he wants to hear, so he is complaining to me. I have gone out of my way to be fair with him. I don't know what he wants. I told him that I shouldn't be the one he is venting to about these things. I think I have been way too available to him over the past year. Talk about cake eating on his part. Now it ends. How long do you go to NC? I think the hard part is he will be upset because he depends on me for so much emotional support. I have to stand strong and not give in to the sad little boy that he becomes. He chose to end the marriage. I am not responsible for helping him through this. Half a year later. During the marriage, I had totally lost myself. I couldn't even say what I enjoyed doing because I only did what my husband wanted. By focusing on me, I figured out my interests, my likes and dislikes. I am truly happy now. I am starting to think about dating. Up until just a couple of months ago, I had promised myself to stay true to my STBX, even if that meant being alone for the rest of my life. Then I realized I deserve more than this. I focus on living in the moment. Living in the moment is a real skill. It will change your life. And gratitude, being thankful for every little thing in your life, makes a huge difference. Try looking for the positive in any situation. The more positive you focus on, the more positive will come back to you. When my marriage imploded, I thought I was dead inside. I could not see any light. I figured my life was over. If I didn't have kids, I would have X'd myself because I saw no hope. For people that are going through this now, you are in my heart. It will get better. You will be happy again. You deserve to be happy. Try to see the end of the marriage as a door opening. You are free to experience an incredible life. I have grown and learned. My husband is still stuck in the same old patterns of our marriage. He will never have a fulfilling relationship as long as he continues this way. He is currently dating his cousin. I feel so sorry for him because he has learned nothing. The best thing you can do for yourself is to try to understand what happened in your marriage so that you don't repeat the same patterns. I was where you are now and I made it through. You will too. Fall in love with yourself. Tell yourself how beautiful you are. You deserve to have happiness, joy and peace in your life. The only person who can do this for you is you. Although, there is nothing wrong with getting help to do this. Focus on positive. Even if you can only be positive for 1 minute at a time, keep trying. Soon it will be 2 minutes, then 5 minutes, then an hour. True happiness comes from within. Everyone has the potential, you just have to put some effort into finding it. Was married 17 years, got the I don't love you talk almost 2 years ago, working on moving on. STBX is dating his cousin. Yes, first cousin. His mom and her dad are siblings. Very hard to accept this, but I have a question and some venting about holidays. My son's BD is today. My STBX was going to take him for dinner. I texted him at 5:20 p.m. to see if she was going. If not, I would have gone too. I figure, I'm the mom, shouldn't I be celebrating with him? Got a text 5 minutes later from him saying he had hurt his back in the afternoon and asked if I could take our son out for supper. So, one question, does it sound suspicious that when he got a tricky question to answer he all of a sudden couldn't go out? He didn't even say anything to our son. I was the one who told him that his dad couldn't go out. Another question, if she had any class, wouldn't she say I will stay home? His mom should be with him on his BD. Isn't it kind of ignorant that she doesn't think about this? Another thing that really hurts is, my in-laws are coming from out of country for Christmas. They want to see me, I want to see them, but she is going to be there. Why is it that the person who didn't want to end the marriage, me, is the one who is alone at Christmas? I am going to work at a soup kitchen over the holidays so I don't wind up sitting at home having a pity party. But it's so tough, especially since I was always the one who did all of the work for holidays and STBX couldn't care less about holidays. And for those just starting the process and wondering how long it takes to get over the ex, I'm still working on it. I finally had the strength to tell him to stop calling me to talk, to stop saying he just wants to be friend. Side note, this is the man who always said men and women can't be friends. Strange, etc. Not that he listened, he just offered to buy my snowmobile permit. Problem is, I work with him so I do have to deal with him on some things. Hadn't seen him for a few weeks. When I finally did, I realized how fat he's getting. My STBX is living with his new girl, his first cousin. Yep, gross. It bothered me at first, but I've come to terms with this. I don't like her and I don't say her name, but I no longer hate her. I see that my STBX is still in the same headspace as when we were together, and I am so grateful that I am no longer stuck with dealing with him. I've chosen to be happy. I still love him, but I accept he doesn't feel this way about me. And, although a small part of me dreams about falling in love again, I truly know that it would not be healthy for me to be with him. There were a lot of tears, a tremendous amount of pain, a ton of anger, but I'm out the other side. You can be too. The trick is to focus on yourself, be gentle and kind to yourself. Do what interests you. Don't do things because you think it will get him, or her, back. This won't work. Your actions have to be about you. Now just have to wait for the judge to stamp it and I'm officially divorced. The end of the marriage was on my STBX's terms, along with a half-hearted reconciliation attempt, me moving out, him screwing strippers, then moving in with his cousin a year after he dumped me. This divorce, though, is all me. He didn't want to get divorced. He was happy to stay separated. But I decided to file and pursue the process aggressively to help me feel like I had some say in what was going on. Even though a part of me will always want to go back to him, I know that divorcing is the right thing. When I talked to him about the divorce, he seemed sad though. So please, speculate away. Why do you think he seems sad? Maybe because I beat him to it and took away some of his control. I know I'll never know why, but I'd like to hear some theories. How long do these relationships last? My STBX started one about 6 months after we split. It's coming up on 3 years now. I know it's a terrible thing for me to feel, but I'm just waiting for the day that it ends. I think I feel this way because I want to see him be alone, to really be alone and see what it feels like. He's the kind of person who always has to have someone around regardless of the quality of the relationship. This desire to see him be alone is a really ugly side of my personality. I wonder if there's a part of me, a very small part, that thinks that if they break up, he'll want to be with me. Final update. I'm over him and doing well. I discovered that I've actually been self-medicating for the past 3 years, so I never dealt with my true feelings. And clean now, so all the crap is coming back, on top of which I work with him. I had a freak out the other day. I discovered that his girlfriend works out right across the street from the new store I am opening. I asked the ex to tell her to go somewhere else because I can't handle seeing her, especially since she is driving what used to be my mom's car. Our company bought it and he allows her to use it. That's a whole other issue. I hope she honors my wish. I truly don't know what I would do if I saw her. On top of that, my ex is telling me that he's not happy. He said it would make him happy to see me happy. How messed up is that? I know it's totally dysfunctional and probably codependent, but I still love him. Help. I have to figure out how not to love him. So here I am, at square one even though it's been 3 years. A piece of advice: don't self-medicate. The only way to deal with your emotions is to deal with them head on. The self-medicating snuck up on me because I suffer from chronic pain. Thankfully, I've been able to reduce my consumption of the pills, but I am struggling with the hurt and pain that is coming up. I am so grateful for this website because I know it will get me through this next step in letting go. My comment: I empathize with your not being able to see the O. What is it that she touches in you? Are you afraid you might physically X her? A fight or flight mode is normal when we are afraid and feel threatened, and an O is a threat. Are you an IC? A good IC can help you learn skills for dealing with these kinds of things. This is about you, not about the O. That stupid woman is in your head and is holding power over you.